is Stephen and Lynda. Hello, Lynda.
Hello, Stephen. How are you this morning,
I'm
afternoon,
I'm
evening?
I'm good. I'm sat in my office, but you're not.
No.
Tell us the story of today, just so far, and how you just did it.
It's so funny that we changed the show to 8 a.m. Pacific time so that, because we were doing it at 9 a.m., and we changed it to 8 a.m. so that I could attend a 9 a.m. call that happens every week for nonprofits. And I have my own nonprofit and I'm learning how to grow it. And so it's interesting because this morning I woke up, getting ready, and I went to turn on my computer and see what the reception was like because we've been having really, really awful internet connection. It reminds me of the old days. Remember when we had dial-up and AOL, and it'd go, and it would take
Oh yeah,
forever
yeah.
to load?
Remember those days?
That's what's happening at our house right now. And I work out of home. So I said, oh my gosh, I got to go find a place that I can actually get on the internet and just use my phone. And so that's what I did. I literally drove around. I had to, here's where I am. I had to move to a remote area so that I could get internet connection, which I think is really, really funny. I just love that.
Well, it's
But it's
totally can.
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
There's even
Okay,
horses
so
over there somewhere.
whereabouts are you?
I'm in a place called Campo, California, and we live about almost an hour and a half away from uh, about an hour and a half from downtown San Diego,
Hmm.
and it's very remote. But we've been having internet issues. So that our name of our show is Just Do It, right? And so I realized I had options. I could have said, Stephen, I can't do it because the internet is really bad, or I could get in my car, drive around, find a place that has good reception, and do it there. And that's what I decided to do because I don't want to just give up. I want to figure out how can I make this happen so that I'm fulfilling, the obligation I have to myself as well as the obligation I have to you and the audience to just do it.
Uh, well, I'm glad you did because it means that we can say hello to Corinda and Barb and Chuck and Catherine. Thank you for joining us. Now,
Hello.
it's strange, is this, because I sent out a broadcast to invite people to the show, and I said to Stephen and Lynda will be celebrating live video on desktop. Yeah, and it had the words "and mobile" after it, and I crossed out the "and mobile." I should have left it in. Should have left it in. And
Well, this is my first time doing Be Live on my mobile, and I'm not sure how the reception is or what the picture looks like or anything. What does it look like? Is it a decent at least? I mean, I know it's a lot of light over there. My lighting's not the best, but
the sound is good, and the picture quality is good as
oops.
well.
Okay, cool. So maybe if I do this,
Okay, the screen is yours.
the screen is mine. Yeah. Well, you guys, I want to welcome you, to the Just Do It show, and maybe you can share with us something that you just did recently, or something that you're maybe scared to do, and you're not sure the steps to take to just do it. There's a lot of things that go on in life that we experience that are scary, daunting, and or maybe just downright we think it's going to be embarrassing. And I think a lot of times people don't do things because they might be embarrassed. So I had opportunities here to be embarrassed this morning. Like I said, my hair is not dried because I knew I needed to get in my car, and I had to take my priorities. Get in my car and drive there and have my hair wet, or blow dry my hair and not be able to find a spot in time. So I took the two choices and I said, which one is the most value? And being on the show to me was more important than having my hair be all fixed. So maybe there's something in your life that you're putting off and you're not really sure what to do. And I just urge you, just gather up the strength you can and the courage you can to just put yourself out there and face whatever challenges they are that you're facing. And literally just do it. If you can't do it on your own, which I get that. I've spent many years of my life not being able to do things on my own. I was just too scared. I lived a life full of fear. But so what I did is I learned to reach out to people, coaches, friends, mentors, people who actually uplift me. I've spent many, many years in my life surrounded by people who were negative, downtrodden, who just brought me down. And they were like, we call them energy vampires, right? They would just like steal my positive energy. But I've realized that those people, that's their energy. I don't need to take on that energy. So I started surrounding myself with positive and uplifting people, and it really totally changed my life. And those energy vampires have kind of disappeared from my life. So is it possible that you have people in your life that are bringing you down, people who are not encouraging you to just do it and to put yourself out there in those stressful, scary situations so that you can change your life and become just change your life and have a better life, the life that you truly, truly want to live, and you're not living because you're too scared. So just do it. Is that what you meant?
Indeed, just do it. And we've welcomed Fonz, and this is a good tryout for the show I do with Fonz, which is called I Live Here.
Yes.
Because we now know that your mobile sound and video is high quality, and you can do this. Just do it.
I'm in a remote area, and I still have great internet, which is so awesome. I was going to take you. I'll show you guys the horses. If I can find them. I don't know how to get over there. But yeah, so where I live, it's a place called Campo, California. It actually was established way back in 1912, which, okay, in the United States, that's way back, and I get it in England. That's like, what? That's
I'm not
nothing.
saying a word. I'm not saying a word.
But this is, as you can see, is a very remote area. There's not a lot of free land in Southern California. We have such a high population, from Los Angeles, even going all the way up to San Francisco, which is Northern California. But Los Angeles down to San Diego, literally, you drive from one town to one town, and there's no delineation. You can't tell that you've left a town and you entered a new town. So being in an area like this, that's very remote, and actually, Stephen, see, there's a mountain right there.
Got it?
That's Mexico.
Oh, wow.
That is Mexico. We live less than a mile from Mexico. If I were to be able to walk that way, it'd be a mile. But you know what, to drive it, it's about 30 or 40 minutes because we can't go straight that way. We have to go down some other roads and, windy roads. So it's really interesting that we live literally, I could walk it faster than I can drive it. But it is Mexico. And it is, like I said, it's very remote out here. So internet is spotty. We have a Circle K, which is like a 7-Eleven or a convenience store. We have one Mexican restaurant, which is odd in California. There's Mexican restaurants every block, but that's because we only have one block. There's literally, the town is one block long. And I wish I could take you to show you the town but there's no internet over there right now. So that's where I'm living now. It's cool.
All right. And you're in San Diego, yes?
Yes. Yeah. San Diego County is actually
This sometimes happens with mobile, and Lynda has just lost signal, so I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to come full screen, drop Lynda down. Lynda will be back in a moment. This normally happens to myself and Fonz. And to answer a question, and the question was, what happens with mobile? Basically, you can come on a BLive show with your mobile phone. All that needs to happen is you download the app either from the App Store or from Google Play. Once you've got the app, get the host to send you a link, click the link, and you are in the show. And it's as simple as that. And Lynda's coming back now, and we'll be back in a second. And once you've done that, and I bring Lynda back into the show, then in 3 seconds, we're both back on camera.
I'm back.
We knew that was going to happen. So it's straightforward to actually, okay. And a question from Corinda. Question from Chris first. Are you on a camping ground?
No. It's interesting, actually, that question came up. I'll tell you why in a second. No, right now, I am just I was driving down the street trying to find a connection. And this happens to be next to, this is a medical office right there, the only medical office in town. And it happened to have connection. So I just stopped right here. So all of that area there, I'm not sure if that's county property or government property. I'm not sure. It might be somebody else's somebody's house property. I don't know, but it's all open area. And the reason I said that was an interesting question is because just yesterday, my husband and I were looking at a campground because we just bought an RV, and we decided that we are going to become RVers. He and we're nomads anyway. We like to move around a lot. We've both moved a lot. I've had a lot of jobs. He's had a lot of jobs. So we like change. And so we decided to become RVers, and we were looking at a park yesterday. They had great internet service. That's very important for me to have internet service. So we're considering moving to that park. And so I'll let you guys know as that advances, I'll let you know what happens with that. As I'm really excited to live that nomadic life. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Totally. I mean, that's the European dream, is to have a house on wheels and start off in the UK and then go across to France, Germany, Holland, but your equivalent would be to go around the States.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Or come over to Europe.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't realize that was the European dream, because the American dream is to own a house with a white picket fence, in a neighborhood free of crime. That's like the American dream.
I understand that. Well, it's not a dream that everybody has, but actually touring Europe is an aspiration. And right, okay. And Chuck is saying, I've been looking at doing the same thing and traveling, and I'm always looking for Class A homes. And Corinda's come back and saying, okay, Corinda had a question. Which phone are you using, and is it the phone's microphone that you're using?
I am using an Android. What's it called? A Note 5, I think is what it's called. Yeah. And I'm just using one of these little handheld. I mean, it's just like plugged into my phone. And this one here, I don't know if they all have it, but this one has a microphone right here. Right. That's all I'm using. So the quality of this type of equipment is amazing. And Stephen, actually, I tested this exact setup out doing a live video in a crowded bar one time. I just wanted to see what the quality would be like, and people could hear me clear as day. And the ambient sound of the bar, you could still hear it, but I was so clear because I had this microphone here. It was so clear, I was able to stand next to somebody else and interview them, and people could hear them clearly as well. So, you don't have to have fancy equipment. That's what I'm getting at. You do not have to have fancy equipment.
You can just do it with a mobile phone.
Yep.
And just Android, Apple, doesn't matter. Although Android obviously is better because both Lynda and I have got Android.
Yes, exactly.
Well, 20% of the world are Apple, 80% are Android. Anyway, back to the show. Catherine's saying our long-term dream is to roam too, but in a boat. Now, that's the thing. We have just down the road from us, about 3/4 of a mile, is a canal. Now, the canals were built in the 1700s, 2,000 miles of canal, and you can literally go from one end of the UK to another on a narrow boat. Yeah, that's you awesome. Can go from here, from Devizes in Wiltshire, which is where I am. You can hire a boat, and then you can go all the way down to London. There's nothing stopping you. And we know the boats travel at between 4 and 5 miles an hour, so it's a peaceful existence through English countryside. And unfortunately, you've got to tie up at night, but you've always got a pub that you can tie up next to. So you can tie up for the night around about 6 o'clock, and then you can go to the pub, have a pub meal and a drink, and then go back to the boat afterwards, and then follow on the next day. And a lot of people do that.
That's cool. That's going to take 500 days?
It would take a long time, yes.
Oh, no, wait, at 4 miles an hour, not a day. 4 miles a day.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
All right, and Catherine is saying, I'd love to take one of those fancy European tours. Yeah, well, that's what we get when we go to Stonehenge and visit Stonehenge. a lot of the tourists are from Japan and the States, and they're traveled in by coach, and they're visiting 3 different places in one day.
Oh, wow.
But it's nice when you can actually stop off and just enjoy being at Stonehenge or Salisbury or wherever it happens to be.
Yeah, learning the history. And do you ever, my husband does this. It's really funny. It's funny to me because I don't get it. But do you do this, Stephen, when you go to a historical location? What my husband does is he will say, God, imagine, if we were, because we have a Star of India, which is a pirate ship, from the 1800s or 1700s or something. And he's like, imagine if you were a pirate on this ship. And then he goes to every single location on the ship that we can go to and just talks about, wow, if we were pirates, we would have been wearing these kind of clothes and we would have been eating this guy. It's like he totally gets immersed into do you do that too?
Oh yeah. I
Really?
mean, that's one of the beauties. I mean, we've got country houses, we've got castles, we've got everything. Yeah. And when you go back, you can, if you want, step back in time and pretend. We're good at that, us men. Pretend that you're actually there at the time. I mean, we're lucky to live where we're in the time we are now because of the advances in technology. But to be able to step back in time. And talking of time, Corinda has asked, what time is it in England? At the moment, Corinda, it is 4:16, and with Lynda, it is
8:16 a.m.
8:16 a.m.
Yeah.
And Catherine's saying she does that too. So it's not just a man thing.
Okay.
It's this going back in time.
Well, it's funny because I say, I don't want to imagine being a pirate because things weren't very good back then. They weren't very clean.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, I'm reading a book at the moment, and it's about the British military, and they're talking about how doctors became involved with the military, and you wouldn't have wanted to be in a hospital then in the 1700s. It's much better to go to hospital if you have to in our time. So I take your point totally on that one.
Yeah.
Things have advanced a little bit. Well, a lot.
Well,
really.
Well, those doctors are just practicing, right? They're always practicing on you.
True. Right. Now, shall we just sort of do a segue and talk about Talker Tuesday? I've pronounced it right this time, I think.
You did. Taco Tuesday. Oh my gosh. So excited. I've been wanting to do a talk show called Taco Tuesday, TALKO Tuesday. I've been wanting to do it for about a year. I just actually got a notice from GoDaddy that my domain name is due, for the 1 year. So it was a year ago that I bought the domain name and did nothing with it because I wasn't sure, like, how am I going to do it? How am I going to run it? What's it going to look like? And finally, hooking up with Stephen here and being on this show with you, and then, just meeting you, a couple months ago on BeLive, in the BeLivers group and stuff, I realized that, Stephen is a producer of shows, you guys. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, you got to check it out. If you're looking for somebody to produce your show, I highly recommend reaching out to Stephen. So I wanted to do this show, and I wasn't sure the best way to do it. So I reached out to Stephen and asked if he would produce my show. And I shared last week on our show, Stephen, how I couldn't go to sleep. And it came to me, like the entire show came to me, how it was going to be run and how we were going to do auditions. So I decided that it'd be fun to do auditions and have the audience vote on the people that they want to be the co-hosts on Taco Tuesday. Now, people keep reaching out to me and saying, well, what is it going to be? What is the show going to be all about and all this stuff? Well, I don't really know yet because depending on the 2 co-hosts that join, I want them and me and Stephen to kind of decide what the show is going to look like, because that way we can incorporate, their personalities as well as my personality, their interests as well as my interest onto the show. So what I'm looking for is people who want to audition to go ahead and sign up to audition. And it's go to talkotuesday.tv. And that's where you can audition to be on the show. And again, it's talkotuesday.tv. You can audition to be on the show. Auditions will start October 2nd. but the audition applications will go through September, shoot, I forgot the date. I think it's September 18th. When you go to tacotuesday.tv, it shows the date, but I think it's September 18th is the last date to submit your audition tape. It's just something small, like a 1 to 2 minute video. It can just be one you record today. It doesn't have to be a live video, but just something that shows your personality so that we can get just an idea of who's auditioning. And there'll be a total of 16 people who can audition for the show. So we'll go through the tapes first, or the videos first, and see who would be a good fit to start off for the auditions, do the auditions, and then once the audition process is done, which all the auditions will take place live on my channel, which is livinglive.tv, and we'll also be streaming it to some of the other syndications that we have. And the auditions will be on a Tuesday at noon Pacific time, 8 UK time. Is it called UK time? What time is it called?
At the moment, it's called British Summertime.
British Summertime.
Yes, because it's summer. When the clocks go backwards and forwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when ours go forwards, it's British Summertime.
Then what's the other one called?
GMT. Oh
gosh, that's totally different.
It is, yeah. Anyway, we're digressing. Back to Taco Tuesday.
So Taco Tuesday is, my idea for the show is that I have 2 co-hosts on the show, and then each week we bring on a guest or 2. We can bring on one other person throughout the show. So for example, let's say that you are one of the co-hosts and you have somebody that you really want to showcase, like who they are, what they do. Maybe they're really interesting. Maybe they've done some really crazy stuff and you want to share them with the audience. So you invite that person to join us on the show, and we actually slot them in at a certain time slot so that they come on and they join us on the show. So we let Stephen know ahead of time, this person is going to be on the show, at this time. And then we can have even a couple more guests join us on the show. And so I just want to, surround myself with amazing people who are inspiring, who are motivating, who want to uplift people and make a positive, impact on this planet. And so we get this 1 hour, each week to do that. So season 1 will start October 2nd. And it will run 8 weeks. So for 8 weeks, you commit to being on the show from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock Pacific time, on Tuesdays. It has to be Tuesday because it's Taco Tuesday. And so I'm looking forward to seeing your auditions. Again, go to tacotuesday.tv to submit your audition application. And Stephen, we already have applications coming in, which is really, really exciting. And I'm looking forward to receiving more. Got a couple weeks to submit your application for the audition.
Indeed. And then we start. And we start in earnest. And 2 people out of the 16 will be on each show.
Yep.
And then you'll vote. So I just want to say hello to Barbara and hello to Ernest. Now, have you heard of Ernest before?
No, I haven't. Oh, I see the comments there. I didn't know you could see them on your phone. That's so cool. Okay.
Brilliant. Ernest, welcome to the show. It's always nice to see somebody joining us, and you are watching. You're watching me and Lynda, really. We've got a title somewhere. You should just do it with Lynda and Stephen. And welcome. And if you want to join us on camera, you can just type guest, and you can join us and talk to Lynda and I. And just to explain, just do it as a concept. It's stop procrastinating. If you've got an idea, just do it. Because, the problem is we get so many ideas and we think, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that one day. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that. And we talk ourselves out of it.
Yeah. I started a program called Finish It Fast, helping people go from procrastinator to actionator. And I started that because of the exact same reason, Stephen. So many times I hear people say, I want to do this. I wish I could do that. And they don't actually take action on it. And so it's so important. Life is short. We don't know when our last day is here on earth. We have no idea. And I got to share with you, when my mother passed away, she was 78 years old, and I remember her saying, there were so many things I didn't do that I wished I had done. And I made a promise to myself that I'm not going to utter those words at the end. I'm going to say, I did everything I wanted, and I had the best time while I was here. And it's really a choice we make in life. Yes, there are struggles. Yes, there are hard times, but it's how our mind thinks about those times, how we allow those things to affect us or not. And it's really up to us on what life we're going to live. So people so often, I don't remember, there's a number, like how many ideas we have in a day, but it's a lot. It's like hundreds or something. Yeah. So we can't possibly act on all of them, which is true.
It's not just during the day, is it? Because the idea for Talk of Tuesday actually came from you couldn't sleep.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah? So we're getting ideas 24/7. And the other thing we've got, and we all have it, is fear of failure.
Yeah.
In other words, if I do it and it goes wrong, what happens? Well, providing you don't come to any physical harm, you go on to the next idea.
Exactly. And you learn from it, right? Was it Thomas Edison said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways it didn't work. So talk about perseverance. If that gentleman didn't intuitively know, he knew he had this thing, he knew he had this invention. He just had to figure out how to make it work. If he hadn't had that fortitude, that perseverance to keep on going, to go failure after failure after failure, we wouldn't have so many things on this planet that we have because of that one person's, just desire to make what he knew was up there to make it happen, to just do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, indeed. And talking of just doing it, say welcome to Barb Ireland, who finally did it. Barb has now done 5 shows. And when we spoke to her a few months ago, she was thinking about the first. So congratulations, Barb, on the 5 shows.
And, that's awesome.
It's absolutely brilliant and awesome. And there are more in the works, so I look forward to watching those as well. And Lynda has switched to a scene, so Lynda's gone on tour. Lynda's gone on tour. So here we have. Right.
Yeah, I just thought I'd show you something different than my face. Yeah, there we go. I'm back.
No, you're okay. You're okay. I mean,
Bob, that is awesome. I'm so proud of you and happy for you. And, your whole life will change because doing live video really does do something different. I've done almost 2,700 live videos, and my confidence level has skyrocketed. My having mistakes happen while you're doing videos, don't get stressed out by it. Just embrace it and say, you know what, at least I'm doing it. Because you know how many people are not doing it? A lot more than are. So congratulate yourself and make sure you revel in that, oh, I'm so awesome, I'm doing this thing. Because so often, Stephen, I don't know about you, but I spent so many years beating myself up over things I didn't do and not giving myself credit for the things I did do. And I've adopted a mentality of once a month I go through and I look at what did I do this last month, and I literally pat myself on the back, you're awesome, you did all that stuff. Because if I don't, who is going to? And I need to pump myself up because I've become my own motivator. I can self-motivate myself now, which I never could do before, but I can self-motivate myself because I remind myself all the great things I do instead of the things I don't do.
Indeed, celebrate the good things that happen, the good things that you're actually part of, the things that you've enjoyed and helped other people enjoy. Totally right. Let's catch up with the comments for a moment. And Barbara's saying my mantra tagline for today is, and this is made up on the spot, so this is good, always do what you're afraid to do. I'll come back to that in a second because that's a lead into something very important.
Yes.
John Spratt, John, the mistakes make it real and show you as a person, well, better as a person, because we can't pretend on live video. It doesn't work.
No.
Barb is sending love, and Barb is explaining fear is false evidence appearing real. So we actually do, we create the fear ourselves. Right, okay, back to something that was said a moment ago by Barbara. Always do what you're afraid to do. Now, you've been there, haven't you?
Yes. Oh boy, have I. Yeah, in 2015, well, in 2014, I hired a life coach, and the life coach helped me to unlock a lot of things in my mind about who I am and help me discover who I am and put me on that path. And so on January 1st of 2015, when I woke up that morning, I said, I got to do something different. I don't do New Year's resolutions because I've never, ever successfully completed a New Year's resolution. So I call them New Year's revolution because they just don't seem to do anything. But I woke up January 1st, 2015. And I said, I got to do something different. I'm changing my life. I'm becoming a whole different person. And people are constantly saying, wow, you're so different than you were just last week. And so I decided I was going to face a fear every day because I had a lot of fears. So every morning I would wake up in 2015, every morning. And the first question I would ask myself out loud, and I would say, what scares me? And whatever was the very first thing that popped into my head, that was the thing I had to do that day. So in 2015, I faced 365 fears. And I call it the year of fears. I actually wrote a book about it. And one thing that did for me is, first of all, again, confidence level, right? I didn't have very much confidence. I used to be a person who sat in the back of the room. I never raised my hand. I never wanted to have people hear what I was thinking because my first husband on a daily basis told me I was stupid and ignorant and that people were only nice to me because they felt sorry for me. And unfortunately, I believed him for decades until I was 51 years old. So talking about fears, it's been interesting because of that process that I went through. I have begun to quickly recognize when I'm having a fearful moment. And then I can quickly say, what is this fear attached to? Why am I experiencing this fear? What is it? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of embarrassment? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of success? So many fears that we have. And so I can quickly recognize it. And now I can say, I know what that fear is from. I'm going to do it anyway. So I just do so many things because I'm scared. Because I realize that fear is non-existent. It's something made up in the mind. But I did come up with my own acronym, Stephen, for fear, and that is that faith erases anxious reactions. Because faith erases anxious reactions. I realized during that year that my faith was so strong in my purpose and what I was doing, here on earth, that my fears they subsided. So every time I was having a fearful situation, I would remember what is my passion? What is my purpose? What is my vision? And that would immediately click me in and say, I have faith in what I'm doing. So this fear will subside. And it did every single time. So my faith kept me moving forward. And the fear subsided. So now I very rarely have fear. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because it's like I don't have that gauge anymore. It's like I've become insensitive to fear. And so maybe I'm just not putting myself in enough fearful situations. I don't know, but I haven't experienced much fear the last year and a half or so. But I think it's because my faith is so strong that what I'm doing is the right thing that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on.
Well, to actually face all those fears and to write about it, I just noted that the book Year of Fears is on Amazon if you want to check it out. Or just type it in.
I'll put it I'll write it in the comments where you can get it, because I
Right.
have a pretty link. I do pretty links for everything so I can remember them. That's the only reason why I do them all.
I might start doing that so I can remember things as well.
Oh my gosh.
And
It's
Chris is sending love.
Thank you. I can't see. So just so you guys know, the ones who are thinking of doing um, live video on your phone or through Be Live, is I can't see all the comments. I can only see a few, and I can't see any hearts or likes, and I can't see anything that you're putting up on the screen, Stephen. Just so you know, like that's. But I can see you, Stephen.
Oh, that's good. Thank you for that. And I just want to go back to something that was said earlier about kind words, and I do appreciate what you said earlier, Lynda, about producing.
Yes.
So, to comment from John, which I will read out. Okay, I'm going to read this. It's going on the screen now. And John's saying, remember your dreams and fight for them. You must know that you want what you want from life. There's just one thing that makes your dream become impossible: the fear of failure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, John.
Right. And
That's cool.
John, if you'd like to put a link to your show in the comments, I will feature it because John's shows are worth watching, definitely so. And Lynda, you just touched my heartstrings, says Barbara.
Oh, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. It gets easier and it gets better and it gets more fun. Like if you're having fun now, it's just going to get more fun. Get ready for it.
Right. I just want to say hello to Deirdre, and to everybody who's joined us. Welcome to the show. This is, I'm just giving Lynda a rest for a moment. This is, well, first of all, you can type guest to join us on camera if you want to join us, and you can join from mobile or from your desktop. And this is Just Do It with Lynda and Stephen, where the idea is that you conquer those fears, you actually just do it. No fears, no procrastination, just do it. And life gets a whole lot more interesting. And we've spoken about livinglive.tv, and Lynda is on a search for 2 co-hosts. And if you'd like to be a co-host on Lynda's upcoming show called Oh, I've done it again. I'm going to corpse again. Can you say it, please?
Taco Tuesday.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I knew that. I'm tongue-tied. That's no good. And just catching up with the comments, Bob is saying, awesome, John. And Barbara is saying, love that, John. So that's an excellent thing to live by. And Deirdre, who's watching us from Australia. So we're truly international today. We're going right around the world. And Deirdre is in Australia. So if you've any questions for Lynda or I, then please do ask them. We'll try our best to answer. And if we can't answer straight away, we'll bring the answer next week, because we're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. in the UK. And we enjoy talking to each other, and we like talking to other people too. So if you do want to join us, you can type guest as well. And just a reminder, yes, Stephen just said TSEO. We know what you're saying. No, I'm getting totally confused. I'm going to go and practice. I did off past the beginning of the show. That was when nobody was watching. I was perfect. But as soon as we get people watching, but don't be. I'm not afraid. I'll keep saying it until I get it right.
Oh, see, that's interesting, Stephen. Let's talk about that because that is very interesting. Now, just so you know, I would never have known had you not said that first.
No.
So that's the thing about fear, right? We have fears inside of us that most of the time people don't even see them. How many times have you heard someone say, after they got off stage speaking, they're like, oh my God, I was so nervous. Or before they get on stage, they're like, I'm so nervous. But you can't tell. It's really interesting about fears. It's so internal. And I'm not saying that you're scared or anything, but it just brought that thought up, is that, like when people are watching us, I I don't know, something happens in our brain, right? For me, I get extremely excited. I get more excited when I see people are watching. I'm like, oh my God, there's people, there's people here. So we all respond differently. That's all I
Yeah,
was going to say.
true. I mean, but I do know how, well, just to come back to something, I was saying, thinking about eating tacos. Now, it's funny you should say that, because when Lynda and I had the first conversation about this, which wasn't on air, it was on a peer in, and we were talking about it, I thought Lynda was talking about Taco Tuesday or Taco Tuesday, or not Talk or Tuesday. Got it. I know I'd get there eventually. So that's very apt. And Barbie's saying that happens to me as well, as especially with names. Yes, I know what you mean, Bob. And Barbara, thank you. And Chris is saying, thank you both, Stephen and Lynda, and thanks for sending me a bot reminder about the show.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Oh, yeah. And to everybody who's watching, thank you. And,
so who's hungry for tacos now? Who is hungry for tacos?
Oh, dear. I can see this being a running theme throughout Talk a Tuesday. It's going to be every week. I'm going to get ribbed about it. Right. Okay. Just a sidestep for a moment. We're actually broadcasting today on the live video hub, but in addition to that, we're on 10 of the pages as well, because we're actually cross-posting. But you can go here, not now, but after the show, to one page, which is on my website. And if you go to this page, I'm going to put the link in. This is me putting the link in. If you go to that one page, you can see all the upcoming shows on the live video hub today. And in addition to that, I'm just going to bring it up on screen. You can watch the replays of the shows. So after this, you can go to that link, you can watch the replay there. But not just that. We now have 1,100 recordings on there, and you can go and you can binge watch. You can go and binge watch BLive TV shows from myself, Lynda, Erin, RJ. In fact, Erin, anybody who's made a show is actually on there, and you can watch the shows live from there. You can share them out, which helps everybody. And it's just, well, I'm just so excited by it, because it is a new way to actually watch live video rather than having to go through.
Rock. That's awesome.
Thank you. And it just works. I mean, what you've got is you've got all the videos. If a picture is grayed out, it's an upcoming show. If a picture has got a photograph on it, then it's a show, a recorded show, and you can watch it. And it will also take you to the link on Facebook as well. So if you want to say thank you for making the show, you can do that. A whole host of things that you can do once you're on that page. And if you want to check it out, please do. Right, now Barbara is saying I can, Barbara's saying she can eat tacos every day.
Or tacos.
And she's got an idea for the logo.
Oh.
Right. And I love when we all work together to get ideas. And Deidre is saying, good, as I joined this one a bit late. So yes, you can watch the replay on that page, Deidre. And Barbara's saying, yay, a one-page show. It is a schedule, because you can see all the shows that are coming up today, and you can click the link and get a reminder. Yeah, so it's very interactive. All right.
That's awesome.
And to Catherine's comment, and I'm going to read this out. It's great, Stephen. I went through it. Oh, right. Okay. This is talking about that page. I went through it all today and wrote down everything I want in my calendar. It just needs to be on standard time, like Eastern. Right.
That's a great idea. Good for you going through that. Wow. Did you go through all 1,100 of them? That's a lot. That's cool. That's a lot of shows. That's awesome, Stephen.
And Barbara's saying thank you. Right. Okay. It's a WordPress site, and I just enjoy creating WordPress blogs. I mean, basically, I didn't blog for 6 months. And when you don't blog for 6 months, your readership goes whoosh, straight down. And
Oh, okay.
I thought, okay, I wasn't writing anything, so nobody was reading. So I thought, what do you do? And I thought, well, let's start it up again. Let's just do it. So
Yeah.
I spoke to Animura and got a copy of Simple Social Press. And now every single show that is done on BeLive in 5 becomes a blog post, right? That blog post then gets promoted. And I built up, and I will cross 10,000 views this month for the month. So
Congratulations.
thank you. It means that our shows are actually getting watched more than just on the Facebook. They're actually being watched on that page as well. Right, some more questions.
Well, can I ask you a question about that,
Sure.
Stephen? So, because I know Simple Social Press, Hani Mora, absolutely awesome. He created Repurpose also, which is another amazing platform. When the videos, like right now we're doing this live, when this is done, it's going to go over to your WordPress site and create a blog. So the video goes over there. Does it go through and do the blog, like the written words also, or you have to go in and blog about it?
No, basically, you've got about half an hour after the show finishes. And when the show's finished, you go back and edit the post. So the words in the post are the ones that you want. So instead of being, we'll be live in 10 minutes, it says we were live, that sort of thing. So you edit the post. That then means the text is already there. You add any tags you want it to use. And after 30 minutes is up, it automatically takes it across to your WordPress blog, and it takes the title, it takes the text that you've just edited, it takes the video you don't already embedded, and it takes all the comments. So everything that Barbara and Catherine and Barb and
Karen Durr, I know.
Chris, Corinda, and John have said, all the comments that you've made today, all the 90 comments that you've made today, thank you, from both of us, will go across to the blog. So you're actually immortalized because it goes across with your photograph and your name and what you said.
That's cool. So so within 30 minutes, if you get in and you edit your post, the description and everything, within 30 minutes, whatever you've done at that point pushes out to the WordPress site because you have it automatically repurposed over there. And then after that point, though, if you want to make any edits, you would go, what is that? If you want to make any edits, you would go to your WordPress blog to edit it there.
Yep. If you want any edits.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for explaining.
I also want to explain something else as well. You're most welcome. And Catherine's just explaining, when you go and look at the page, going back to the live video hub page, the time zone is my time zone. So that's what Catherine is saying. I'll have a word with the people who make the plugin, Catherine, and see if they can change it to whichever time zone you're in, because that would be quite clever.
Oh, that would be good, yeah.
And Barbara is saying, can it link into Google Calendar? Again, I'll go back to the people who created the plugin. It's two brothers who've created it, and I'm making contact with them, and I'm hoping to bring them onto a Just Do It show with Lynda and I in a couple of weeks' time, and then we can find out more about it. All right, and Catherine is saying, I mean, the list I sorted down belivers. I'm sorry, I'm talking about something else. Do you ever find yourself talking at cross purposes, Lynda? Because it happens infrequently to me. No, not frequently, just occasionally.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you for the link, Catherine. I will check it out after the show.
Hey, Stephen, why don't you quickly touch on cross-posting, what that is, what it's all about, and why it's good for people to do it? Like, why would I want to cross-post with somebody?
Basically, when you go live on Facebook, the people who can see the post are people who like your page and follow your page. You're only reaching your own audience. If you want to grow, then you need to expand your audience. You can pay to boost the show. You can take out adverts, but you don't know who's going to react to those adverts? You can say, right, okay, I want to target everybody in Los Angeles, but are they interested in live video? So another way to do it is to say to your friends who have business pages, what I'd like to do is go live on your page when I go live on Facebook. So you're actually showing up on your own page and your friend's page. And then you say to another friend, I want to go live on your page too. So you're actually going live on 3 pages all at the same time. That's live cross-posting. Now, with the Live Video Hub, it's slightly different. Live Video Hub will never cross-post anywhere. The Live Video Hub has 162 people who cross-post to it. So we've got 162 shows on there which go live during the day. And what it means is that everybody who broadcasts on their own page on a Live Video Hub gets a new audience, an ever-increasing audience. And the Live Video Hub is run by BLIFBot.tv. So it's an official page, an official site, and I manage it. And I'm always open to anybody who has a business page who wants to go live on the hub. Just send me a message and you run the hub. No problem.
That's cool. Oh, and you have to be for the Live Video Hub, you have to be using BeLive. So that's, you know, one thing is you have to be using BeLive. So if you're using Facebook Live, it's, you know, it won't be it'll be removed from the page, just so you know. And then I do have a question though on that, because I have a couple people that, you know, I'm cross-posting on theirs, but they're also cross-posting on mine. And so it's not automatic. So for example, let's say, for example, I reached out to Steven and I said, hey, can I cross-post on Live Video Hub? He says yes. Now that doesn't mean that automatically Live Video Hub cross-posts onto me. It just means the cross-post is going from me to him. Then he would ask me, hey, can we cross-post on yours too? And then I would say yes, for example. So then what happens, and let me ask you this question because I'm a little bit confused on this. I have, you know, one person who's cross-posting on my page, and when she goes live, it says Living Live TV is live. So it doesn't say that she's live on my page. It says that I'm live. Is that, that's really interesting.
Right. It basically, what happens is when you create your post on the page, you give them the option where you want to cross-post to. So if I cross-post to Living Live TV, then it creates a post on your page, but because it's your page, it's your post. Yeah. Okay. Which means it's important that when before I do that, I actually say to comment live, visit here. And if you look up at the top of the post that we're on now, you'll see a link back to Be Live in 5. And that's why we can see Barb and, I just noticed something. That's why we can see comments. So it's just the way Facebook have done it, complicates things. Okay. It was done on purpose. I know it was. And I'm hoping that they will actually change it. What happens with that is if I typed in that I was going to talk about X, Y, and Z, and I cross-posted it, and it went cross-posted to somebody's page, and it looked like she was saying I will talk about, and she got a bit annoyed. She got a bit annoyed about it. So I always write in the third person now. So I say Stephen will be talking about. So no matter where the post goes. Oh. Right. Okay. Let's catch up and okay, and say hello to Gospel. Gospel, nice to see you. Hello. And all right. Barbie asking, can we cross-post into the Livers group? No, cross-posting is only between pages. So you can cross-post to the Live Video Hub. You're more than welcome to do so, because that is the BeLive.tv page. And you can cross-post to any business page where you've agreed with the owner of the page. But we cannot at the moment cross-post into groups. This is a Facebook decision. And Bob is saying, yes, I've seen that happen too. Now, I'm not sure what. But take your point, Bob. That was a while ago. And Fernando is saying, hi, Stephen. And Deidre's latest comment is, yes, that is how I got here to make comments. I needed that link to be able to do so. That's it. So whenever you create a cross-posted show, always put the link back to the original page so that people can actually comment live. After the show, it doesn't matter where the video is. Yeah.
Right.
But during the show, it does. And I'll be saying, okay, thank you.
Okay, and that's a good point there too, because after the show, but then again, you might want to, because if you're cross-posting on a whole bunch of different pages, then you might want to direct them back to the original to if they have questions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise, you might not be able to find their questions.
Right. Okay. Now this is the point. If you do cross-post, and we'll explain this in the next show because we've only got a few minutes left. But if you, on your business page, you've got analytics, okay? In other words, what's been happening on my page, how many people have visited today, and there's a videos tab. When you go to the videos tab, it will show you all the videos that you've done, okay? The most recent first, going back to every video you've ever done on Facebook is actually listed. When you click on the video, it will tell you how many people watch live, how many people watch for 3 seconds, how many people watch for 10 seconds. But if you've cross-posted, bottom left-hand corner, it will say this was also cross-posted to these 9 pages. Yeah.
Ah.
And if you click on that, you can see the 9 pages, right?
Okay.
And it then tells you whether there are any comments on those pages, right? So after this show, what it can do is go to analytics, videos, this video, post on 9 of the pages, click that link, and then I get a link which will take me direct to the live video hub, Living Live TV, and every single page I can check out and see exactly what's happened and answer any comments without having to search around. So I'll do a short video about that, and we can discuss that next week.
Yeah,
Well,
cool. And well, lastly about the cross posting is that if you've requested a cross post on somebody's page and they've agreed and they have granted you rights to do that, you do need to manually say that you want that show to cross post on whoever's pages you want to. So it's not an automatic thing. So don't worry. It's not like every time you go live, you're going to be cross posting on somebody else's. You have to actually manually tell it to do that.
you're in total control.
Yes.
That's the way it should be.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of these things that if it was set to automatic, that would mean that every single video you ever did would, yes. So you choose, and that's key. That's the key thing. Well, I'm glad that, or I'm not glad your internet went out, but I am glad that you found somewhere which had a signal, and the signal has been totally stable for an hour. So a shout out to the provider in that area, because you had an awesome picture, and that's brilliant.
That's how I my show for the day. Yeah, just absolutely beautiful out here today. And, I don't get outside often enough, Stephen. So today I'm glad I did this. And, I ended up in a beautiful area.
True. Last point from Barbara. Do you need to get things right in cross-post? You need to make an agreement. And basically, if you want to go on Live Video Hub, just send me your page link. Or if you want to go on Living Live TV, send Lynda your page link.
Yes.
And will both work. Well, this has been, I just love it when we get together and talk and everybody gets involved. And
yes, thank you guys.
Shout out to everybody who's joined us today. You've been awesome, and your comments we've enjoyed them, and we've found out lots of different things. We've got some new ideas which we'll take away and run with, and it's always a pleasure being here. And from Lynda and I, well, Lynda, you sign out because you're the one who went the extra mile today.
Literally, she went an extra 5 or 6 miles. So just do it. The whole thing is, life is so short. If you think about how many days or months, years you have left here, you don't want to live your life with regrets. And so there's things you're putting off doing, things you want to do in your life. How can you make them happen? There's a saying, I don't remember exactly who said it, but it relates to money, but it can relate to anything in your life. And that's, instead of saying I can't afford it, say to yourself, or ask yourself, how can I afford it? So instead of saying I can't do this and I can't do that. Say, how can I do this? How can I do that? Because changing your words will change your life. And when you start asking your brain questions, your brain will search for the answers. But if you shut it out, it won't have any questions to search, to answer. So ask yourself questions. How can I do this? How can I do that? And then you will find yourself, the answers will come to you. So just do it.
Totally. Just do it. Bye for now.
Bye-bye, y'all.
And that's a